Hey everyone, I hope you guys are all having a lovely day out there today. Breaking news coming out of the White House, which of course did make the markets go down. It's unfortunate, we've talked about this. So we're going to be going through all that news here today, going over some technical data, and just looking about how the market is doing, because I think people are freaking out a little bit too much off of the data coming out today, or basically the news coming today. But we'll see if we do have a bearish resurgence coming along this week, okay? But before that, give Loki a little bit of a treat here. Hey, Loki. He's all being very nice right now. Yep, there we go. All right, so hopefully you guys are ready for all this. It's just been chaotic morning for the markets. I want to show you guys the news here first. This is from CNBC. Basically, Donald Trump is going to announce new auto tariffs, and this is going to hit the economy pretty hard, depending on where you're at, of course. And again, it's just building up that fear. Oh my God, Donald Trump is going to do more tariffs than we think. Maybe do we really price into all the tariffs that he's going to be doing? Yada, yada, yada. And maybe tariffs will just be worse than we thought. And that's kind of the gist of what's going on right now, all right? So let's hop in here to the video. Hopefully you guys are all having a good day. And let me just poke this around very fast and hit play.
Javers has the details. Eamon, what can you tell us?
Kelly, there's a White House briefing going on right now, and Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary, just said that President Trump at 4 p.m. today will be signing new auto tariffs. That'll be in the Oval Office, and we may be able to see that live, or see tape playback of that, I should say. We'll get new details on exactly who's being tariffed and what the rates are and all of that later this afternoon. But this is something that the president telegraphed earlier in the week, suggesting that he would do auto tariffs, those so-called sectoral tariffs, before April 2nd, when he does the so-called reciprocal tariffs worldwide on countries that have tariffs on the United States. So you remember back over the weekend, Kelly, there was some question about whether or not the White House was backing off the idea of sectoral tariffs, even while keeping the reciprocal tariffs in place. Now the president signaling that no, he's very much going ahead, at least with the auto tariff piece of that. We'll get more detail on exactly where this is going to land, but we do expect now to see the president at 4 p.m., Kelly.
Amen.
All right, so that's basically in a couple minutes here. So if I'm on CNBC, I'm going over here to this. Let me actually take off the YouTube part here for you guys. And I'm going to be looking to see if they have any live with Donald Trump. They have something like the press briefing, but I don't see anything that's actually scheduled to be done now. So maybe during the stream we'll be able to kind of see what he has to say about this. But it's about auto tariffs. So he wants more cars built in America. I understand it, but those tariffs are going to hit. And it's going to be a little bit more of a bumpy ride for a minute. But let me poke over here very fast. The market as a whole is not liking this news. Dow Jones is down, S&P is down, NASDAQ is down, Russell 2000 is down, and oil, of course, is the VIX is up a little bit here. But what really is hitting right now is Bitcoin. You guys know we're looking at this April 2nd deadline for these reciprocal tariffs. We're going to see what happens then. Bitcoin still is in a nice short-term upward trend. And we've had a few opportunities so far where it's fallen down and it's managed to hold and continue moving higher. I will say that we are getting very close to this level of resistance here. Are we going to break out above it? I do not know right now, but that's the level of resistance. If you guys are looking to open up a short, that's kind of a good territory here. However, if Donald Trump is going to go back and forth on these auto tariffs here and the market isn't going to have enough clarity, I would say, you might see people freaking out just a little bit more, okay? So I'm going to take my time on this, relax a little bit more, and let me actually go over here to change something on my end, because I wonder if I change something here. Auto chapters, there we go. Okay, there we go. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so we know that Bitcoin's still in this downtrend. We're trying to see if it can have a breakout. Until it breaks out, most of you guys are probably not going to be buying it. If you guys did buy with me a while ago, back over here on this dip, and then back over here, secondary dip, I would say that, you know, it's still an appropriate time to scale out at least some of your guys' trades. I think that's probably still the best way to go, because if we start to break down from this trend later on today, and maybe a 4-hour chart would give us a better idea of what we're looking at. Let me put the magnets on here. All right, you can see we are very close to breaking down. In fact, I think we might have broken down here temporarily. What was the MACD? Still bearish. What was the daily MACD? Still bullish. So, you know, it's still not like danger territory, but I would still say I'd be a little bit more cautious over the next 24 hours, especially as we are heading for a squeeze moment between these two levels of resistance. right? Actually, I should say 2 levels of resistance like this, between the trend line here and the 50-day moving average, and then the moving average is over here. Those 2 levels are really going to cause us some pain, or some excitement, depending on which way we break. But right now, we are on the edge of a small breakdown. I don't think, again, that breakdown takes us all the way back down to 72,000, anything like that. But we could easily go through a period of time where we're looking for a higher low before trying to break out after April. And that's my main concern right now. So if any of you guys did make that trade with me a couple weeks ago, it's okay to at least scale out some if you guys don't want to have to wait through all this pain and stuff, because with these tariffs, we still don't know exactly how bad the market is going to take it. Right now, we can see the market isn't necessarily going crazy with it. It's not a great idea, you know, based off what we saw the past few weeks. You go over here to the dollar index, even that's fallen. Russell's fallen. SPY, NASDAQ, everything's been falling, of course. But I will say we haven't gone back down to like crazy levels of support where it'd be like, oh my God, if we break down below this is like a multi-month type of nasty bear market right here. We're not there yet, and I'm kind of happy about that. And I'm also happy, despite Bitcoin coming down quite a bit, of course, we really haven't seen, what's a nice way to say this? We haven't seen like Bitcoin, I'm more confident in Bitcoin because the rest of the stock market is actually doing pretty well too, by not coming down as much, and I'm okay with that, especially since Bitcoin had a crazy rally at the end of last year. But we are expecting a death cross. Death crosses for us on the daily chart aren't really the biggest thing here. You can see they follow a pretty nasty move down, which I guess you guys can admit we just had. But it didn't really signal, hey, this market is over, anything bad's happening. Back over here as well, didn't really signal anything bad was happening. You can zoom out to both of these times it happened. Right, over here, nothing crazy happened. I think it's when we started to see some of that bearish activity when it came to the weekly charts. I think that's when people started to freak out a little bit more about what was happening, right? Especially with the MACDs and stuff like that. Once we started to go into negative territory here, started to break down below the 20 and the 50, I think people panicked a little bit more there. But we're not there just yet. I think we're actually in a pretty good spot. Only because the economy is in a different spot than where it was back in 2022. 2022 was a year of rate hikes, not rate cuts, and not pauses. The speed of which we had those rate hikes, if you guys remember, it was so bad that a lot of banks failed and the government had to get involved, and it was just pure chaos. Imagine having a local bank and it just going like poof, bankrupt. Crazy thing to have happen. All right, so let me go back over here very fast. Short term, we're just consolidating, nothing crazy. We're in a little bit of a downtrend here, but I'm not ultimately too concerned with this. You could almost see it like this at the moment. A little bit of a blowhorn open. We'll see if it's able to change up, but we've entered a nice consolidation period, probably for the next few hours, to be honest. I don't see anything really big happening. I was trying to figure out what was happening with the rest of the market here, and if you go over to coinmarketcap.com, you see, Bitcoin's up 0.03%, Ethereum's down 0.55, XRP's down 0.22, Solana's up 1.86, ADA's up 4.5, Dogecoin's up 8% today. You got some nice movers here, but you also got stuff like Toncoin down 3%, but I wouldn't say it's very chaotic, if anything, right? I don't think this is a chaotic market right now. I like it. There's people in the stock market may be freaking out, but they freak out over 2%, 1%, 0.5%, for heaven's sake. So, I'm not too concerned. Atlantic publishes full signal thread after Trump says text not classified. OpenAI expects revenue will triple to $12.7 billion this year, source says. Treasury Department is set to lay off a substantial number of employees. There's nothing really crazy besides, the tariff news that we got, and what do you call? We talked about the tariff ones. This is a whole different article right here. Look at this. Trump says tariffs coming in April will probably be more lenient than reciprocal. He's already backtracking. I mean, it makes us go back and forth. If you're gonna do it, just do it. I know it'll be like a crazy thing that happens to the economy. We all understand it, but you can't be like flippity flopping and flapping, all over the place. It doesn't make much sense, because then we're having to deal with all this type of, volatility here, when in reality we could have just already broken out right now if we didn't have such crazy news coming in every day. Now, from a fundamental standpoint, he's going to help Bitcoin reach new highs, but that may take a year from now, 6 months from there, 2 years, who knows? If you guys are patient, yeah, a lot of the stuff he's doing, or I would say David Sachs is doing, is great. But this tariff news is just causing us chaos for the next few weeks and months, and we're gonna have to get over it because you know, accumulate. We've had dips. Everybody was waiting for a dip. Now, do you really want to buy the dip? It's really up to you, right? So, hey, Trev, happy to see you, my man. So basically what happened was my computer's been going through some shit. I've explained it for like the last 2 months, but basically my GPU's having issues or my motherboard's having issues, and I can't really pinpoint what it is. And so what I ended up doing was I'm in the process of buying a new computer because there's no way you can buy good GPUs right now because there's a massive shortage for the NVIDIA ones. They didn't make enough on purpose, I believe, to like hype up demand. But I found this place up in Seattle that can build it for me, so I got one coming, but it doesn't come for like 30 days, 45 days. So I'm pretty much using this computer that can black out if I tap on it too much or shake the desk or something bad happens. I don't know exactly what sets it off exactly. But basically, I've just decided, okay, whatever. If my stream dies while I'm streaming with you guys, my computer has an issue, that's when the stream will end. But until then, I'm just going to stream and things like that. I've also been doing some consulting work with some people up in Seattle, so I've been up there a little bit more. It's been kind of just fun for me to get out more. I felt like I was getting stir crazy doing so much on YouTube because a few months ago my channel got demonetized and they wouldn't tell me why. So I was like, you know what? You know, I'm just going to trade, tell you guys about the trades I do like over here and stuff like that. And then while I'm waiting to be remonetized, I'm going to go out there and start networking, getting more connections and things like that in the downtown area because I just need to get out there more besides all the smoking of cigars I do. So I joined this place called the Columbia Tower Club up in Seattle. Really great spot. If you guys join, tell them I hooked you up because they're really fun over there. But it's just like a corporate-y club with a nice social vibe with great drinks and food. But I also just like the view that they have over the city of Seattle. So I've pretty much been doing that. So I've been making content up there. They have a podcast room, which I'm going to start using here in a couple weeks. And then I've been making content up there as far as my phone and things like that because I've been just trying to get out of the house a little bit more. My sister's in town for a spring break, so she's been watching Loki. I've had a little bit more freedom. It's been kind of nice. And hey, Zappy, happy to see my man. I'm sick of this. Trump needs to cool it. Yeah, he just needs to have a plan and stick with it. I think that's probably the best way to look at it right now because there's no way he's not going to be in power for the next, 3 years now, 4 years. But I would prefer if he said he was going to do reciprocal tariffs, he just stuck with reciprocal tariffs. And if there were a few sectors that might get hit too hard, just come out and say, hey, we feel bad for this sector, this sector, this sector, so we're going to make sure they're not hit as hard as others because they might not be able to survive or something like that. They probably wouldn't say it like that, but in politicalese, politicianese, I don't know. But yeah, so that's kind of stuff going on with me. So yeah, Trav, it's been a hectic time. I was getting stressed about it because it's not a problem you can necessarily just throw money at it because it's just a supply issue. So it really sucked. I hope all these countries stand their ground and don't cave to Trump, even if it causes us pain. We'll screw this ego crap Trump made last trade deal in the first place before he left office. What do you call? Even if they all kind of stood up against us, they would feel the pain a little bit more than us. And that's pretty much just because we have the trade deficit. We're buying so much more from everybody than they're buying from us, and that's really the issue here. Trump is trying to reshape the economy so we don't have to rely on other countries as much. But of course, other countries don't want that because they want to. If they're not selling stuff to us, they're losing money basically. The issue is right now Trump is mainly focused on Canada. He'll be focused on other countries coming up pretty soon. India's already backed off some of theirs, so he's been seeing success with this, which will help us out a little bit more. And that success is something he can point to keep on keeping on, as he might put it, right? So India's backed off a little bit. We haven't talked about Mexico. He hasn't really been pushing Mexico for a minute here. Canada has been feistier, so he's wanting to fight back against Canada. He just can't help himself, right? And then the EU, they're talking smack, but the EU, they're about to go into debt to build up a new war machine for Europe, right? Which is going to be very interesting because that means they might not have money for other things like economic packages if they start to go into a deeper recession. Now, I don't think all of Europe is in a recession. I should actually probably check that out with you guys. Let's go over here to ChatGPT very fast. What countries in the EU are in a recession? because he is like, he's not kicking these countries while they're up and strong and mighty. He's kicking these countries while they're down. And I don't think that's what, I don't think people understand that. That's why he's doing it. I think he feels like he has leverage right now. Actually, he does have leverage, but it's more of like, do you want to be doing this to our allies and kind of upsetting them? Because, you know, it just depends, right? I know Biden had issues with Europe. Obama definitely had issues in Europe more than Biden, and Trump, of course, has crazy issues with Europe. Let's see. Could I put this over here? And then I want to go to this one. Hold on a second. There we go. Okay. Now, according to my notes here, I need to zoom in to 200%, and that is not working out. So maybe, there we go. All right, 175%. 2020. Oh, geez, this is, I need 2025 and 2024. 2023 data, that's old. It said Germany was in a recession in 2023. It's 2025, so we gotta see. Let's see. So what forecast is, okay, okay, hold on. Let's just do 2024 data. They may just enter in data at a different time frame than we do in America, so maybe I'm just not understanding that. But let me just try 2024 data. Let me take off caps lock so it doesn't look so funny when I'm talking with you guys. Okay, here we go. Late January, February. Let's see. You know what? This isn't in search, so maybe that's it. Man, let's go over here to most questions. I can turn on search. Yeah, search the web. There you go. Wait, hey, what countries in the EU have been in a recession in 2024 or are still in one of 2020? What, March 2025? There we go. Because I do want to make a point of just like they're in a weird spot, and I think that's why it's so much more offensive of what we're doing to them, because they are down and we're like kick. We're forcing them to put all that money into defense. If you guys own defense stocks in, you know, Europe, oh my God, you made a little bit of mini fortune the other week from all that money they're pumping in there now. Or all the money they're going to pump in there, I should say, right? So as of March 26, 2025, the economic performance of the European Union countries in 2024 varied, with some nations experiencing contractions while others saw growth. Germany, Europe's largest economy, faced challenges in 2024, contracting by 0.2%, following a 0.3% contraction in 2023. This marks 2 consecutive years of economic decline, raising concerns about a potential recession, right? 2 years of economic decline is wild. That's not something that happens in America too much, but we just have a different system over here. It's much more capitalistic and less about the welfare of, you know, the state, you know, the quality of life type of stuff. You got people that have some real shitty lives here. People have some really great lives, right? France, the French economy managed a modest growth of 1.1% in 2024. While positive, this growth rate indicates a sluggish recovery compared to some of its European counterparts. Italy's economy grew by 0.7% in 2024. Spain expanded by 3.2%. That's really good. Eurozone overview. The Eurozone as a whole avoided a recession in 2024 with an overall GDP growth of 0.9%, right? So Germany was the big laggard, but Germany is supposed to be that big economy, right? Same with France, a little bit not as good as it could be. So how about the USA? Let's see, GDP rose by 2.8%, slightly below the 2.9% growth in 2023. Let's see. There is raised concerns about a potential slowdown, and I think that's what a lot of you guys have been focusing here, and why I talk about actually on the channel as well, because we don't want to see the panic around all of this, right? we don't want to see the panic above that lead to Bitcoin having at the end of a bull market going back over here to 50,000 levels, and all of us like, oh man, it's over. Now we got to wait some time for all this stuff, because who knows if this will be a V-shaped recovery or not. We really haven't had, we weren't around, so to speak, back in 2008 with the Great Recession. We had COVID, but COVID was a V-shaped recovery, to be honest. The dip back in 2018, that was a few months, and we were back off to the races. I mean, how long ago was this? Yeah, that was 133 days. So, okay, what happened over here November 19th of 2018? It's the NASDAQ. Say November 19th is what I said. Let me double check. Yeah, November 19th. Okay. Yeah, that was in the middle of the NASDAQ coming down hard. Bitcoin was doing some funny business, and it was just going sideways for a while. Then all of a sudden it dropped. So, the only time we really had a real prolonged nasty move actually was back when we were raising interest rates. And if we did go into a recession, you know what Jerome Powell would be doing? He'd be cutting those He'd be cutting those suckers. He'd be cutting them up. Oh, look at this. A little bit of bounce for Bitcoin, though, in the short term. I wonder what happened here. Maybe the market's closed. Maybe there's some good news coming out. Or they did say Trump was going to be talking pretty soon, but I don't see any live news about Trump talking. Senate committee holds nomination here from Paul Atkins to SEC. Nope, there's nothing I see on the news right now. But yeah, so maybe we'll hear more about it. And hey, Noah, happy to see my man. Trev, good to see you back, man. I know, right? I'm going to try to be back on a normal schedule. It's just, I need to wait for this computer, guys. Like, this was not, like I told you guys about this the other day, but this was just not good for my mental health. Stressing. I don't like to stress because of my anxiety and like stuff like that. This was stressing me out constantly because, like I said, I'd be getting ready for a stream, and then my monitors go back, and I'm like, oh, should I have a minute before I need to go live? Reboot the computer, hope it stays on for the stream. Or you guys saw a couple of times where it just would die out. One time it died out 13 seconds into a stream, and I was just like, well, fuck. Because all the notifications go out, you're all going to a video, and the video lasts for 13 seconds. It's like, what the fuck happened? It sucks. I don't like putting out that type of stuff. So, yeah, it should be fine. I am going to try to do some podcast content up at the Columbia Tower. I think that'll be good. But in reality, I'm just trying to tune up the channel a little bit more with how I got things rolling. I got an editor I'm going to pay down the road once I start making more returns from my YouTube channel. Right now, YouTube is like, I'm losing money on it, basically, which is fine, right? But I would like to make money off the YouTube channel. Right. But I am making a course right now, which is going to be pretty great. I think I showed you guys this. It's going to be like a slideshow course, which is going to be good. I'm going to charge like $99, but I think for the first week, because I don't have a large audience, if any of you guys want it, I'm just going to like put a link down below, and I'll be like, hey, it's free for this week only. Get it with this code, because oh, you can customize that. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Drive. There you go. Yeah, so this is basically just saying every slide. Now there are videos as part of this, I would say, which is going to be like part of it, like a lot of tutorials built into this, but a lot of it's going to be slides, me explaining things, kind of almost like a book. But then you have like YouTube, like not YouTube videos, but like little videos I put into the place so you can see both. Because I think that's how I kind of learned. I learned through like a book mentality, like of just reading and getting a lot of definitions and seeing a lot of pictures. But at the same time, I needed some practical help of just like, hey, setting up the chart, signing up for TradingView, stuff like that. But yeah, basically there's a lot of stuff here. Course and purpose, who the course is for, target audiences, about the instructor, me, high level course recap, and then I don't know. Oh, it's not letting me. Yeah, you can see. Oh, you guys can't see it. There you go. We're on page 4 of 358. So this will be a longer course I've been building out for a while. I've been going back and forth with ChatGPT. You know, it's been helping me get the background placement and things like that, just so I have a better vibe of it, because I'm not aesthetically pleasing when I make my stuff. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, like here, we go over EPS, right, for the stock market. So it is pretty in depth. Net margin, right, operating margin, return on equity, just basic things you might want to know, like if you're going through FinViz and kind of like managing the settings. Maybe you want to know what the debt to equity ratio is, and you can have an example of it here with easy math. And then, you know, I'll recommend a photographic and stuff like that. So it just makes my job a little easier. But, you know, if you go all the way down here to like 156 of 358, this one is a case study, stock, step 5, outcome and reflection. This is like finishing up a trade and then talking about everything you would have to think about after the trade while you're learning to make sure you're actually like getting better, right? Case study number 2, crypto. Case study number 2 again, right? Risk tolerance, entry stop, stuff like that. A lot of stuff, a lot of pictures, a lot of videos in this one. This won't be done for probably a month or something like that. But, you know, trading view, right? Platform overview, core technical and analytical features. I'm not going to do the whole 3-hour tutorial because I've already done that for you guys. Pros, cons, and ideal use cases of why you might use TradingView versus Thinkorswim, right? Versus E-Trade. This is just for the technical part of it. Ninja Trader. So my hope is I can break all this stuff down so you guys have lots of options. It is going to be work because I have to put all this stuff in there and I have to make it look good. And then I also have to be explaining everything and then put it into a course format. So like you're looking, oh, this chapter. Maybe you guys don't want to learn about EPSs and more some of the boring language. Maybe you guys already know it. So you guys can skip on to the next section, right? Maybe you guys don't want to learn about Market Watch or Lux Algo or Market Cipher or CoinDesk. You know what I mean? I'll have lots of stuff I can you could also be learning about, I would say, right? Also be learning about there. And then Instaphobic Seahawks. I mean, I like the Seahawks, but I haven't really went to a game in a minute. The tickets are so overpriced. The food is so overpriced. And to be frank, like I could deal with all that if there wasn't bad traffic leaving the game. The traffic is so bad, I just hate it. So what I do is, you know, I typically just watch the game with friends at the cigar lounge. And that seems to be the best thing for me. At least for Monday night and Thursday night games this year, I'm going to try to watch it up at the Columbia Tower because, let me see if I can show this to you very fast. More people have been asking me for help when it comes to cryptocurrencies and social media, and because, you know, Seattle's kind of new to it. So I've been meeting people just kind of out and about, like, hey man, I'd love if you could help me. And they pay quite well, of course. So I'm just like, yeah, I mean, sure, I'll take some time to help you out. But you know, as you guys know, I live in a house. It's not really close to civilization, as you might put it. But I was looking for somewhere where I could have meetings in Seattle and just drive up there and, you know, have a meeting. Like I have a meeting today at 5:30. And I'll be up there for that. Now 5:30 is a little late, but, you know, I don't want to have to drive into traffic, so I can, you know, meetings at my time, which is also pretty nice. But it's called Columbia Tower Club. I just want to see if I can show you guys a picture of it. There's the photos. I mean, that's the should be a view in here somewhere. That's the view from the ferry. Well, you can look down into the stadium from one of these viewpoints. Everybody just likes to look downtown Seattle instead of looking in Soto District. Columbia Tower. See, I don't know what the stadium's called anymore. No, that's T-Mobile. No, that's what you call it. Here we go. Let's see. There you go. So, oh, come on. Open image. There we go. Let's zoom in a little bit. So you could see into the stadium from the tower, which I think is pretty cool. And then I also smoke over here somewhere. Not sure where over here, but I smoke over here. There's the Starbucks headquarters up there. And I like it. So you can see in there a little bit. It's a little bit more blocked now because these condos are built up, but you can still have a pretty good vantage point. So I'll be doing that. But the Seahawks are just not that great, to be honest, and it kind of sucks. Now we have Sam Darnold, what to think about, maybe better than Geno Smith. Geno was very disappointing, and I saw him crying one game, and I was like, bro, you get paid way too much to be crying on that sideline for a non-playoff game, right? So Geno will be disappointing me. However, Columbia Tower, this place so far, from what I've experienced, it's been absolutely fantastic. It's just expensive to join. I think that's how most clubs go, right? Like it's $240 a month, but you get to go to clubs all over the country. You guys know I travel a little bit. I'll be going to Vegas next week. I'm gonna go check out the club in Vegas, which I think is pretty nice. Oh, now they have a video showing how you can see the stadium. But yeah, it's a pretty chill spot, and they got good food. They got good healthy food, which I really love. But damn, I just got to go up to Seattle. That's the only issue. Literally, the only issue with that place is I have to go up to Seattle. So I don't go up there as much as maybe I should, but I do go up there. K-shape for the pores. Oh, man. All recoveries will be V-shaped as long as we have the Fed protecting the rich. See, I don't know at this point because I don't know how the rich are moving the money necessarily, because I think they've been just not putting it, like they've been taking it out of things like Nvidia, the big tech sectors, and kind of slowly, shaving some of that off, and they've just been putting in some of the heavy hitter dividend plays or treasuries because rates are still pretty good, and they've been fine with that 5% because they got so much freaking money that 5% of that is still a great return on their investment without the concern or the worry that their Nvidia is going to fall 20-30% in a few months, or that Nvidia could probably fall another 50% from where it is now. Then when it does start to really have those crazy moves, that's when they start to sell those treasuries, and then then they start to buy up all the assets. And you can buy it in waves, of course. Remember I told you guys I bought some Tesla the other day. I was just talking with Larry yesterday's stream saying, hey, I'm getting ready to sell my Tesla, and thank God I did, because not crypto, TSLA, there you go. Because Tesla had a nice little pop here, and then today it's down a little bit. I think it might have gone up, but these are freaking auto tariffs, right? So you can't even hold on too long, but I have plans. So, I'm going to buy back up here with Tesla, maybe even like another week from now. I just wanted to take some profit off the table because that computer was very expensive. But I have different levels to buy Tesla at, and if Tesla comes all the way back down here to the order block of 189, I'll buy some. If it comes back down here to 138, I'll buy some. If it comes all the way back down here to 106, I will buy some. But this is all long-term type of planning for me. It's not something where if it even dips back down here to $64, I freak out. I'm just like, I'm going to buy one more time and then let it sit for like 5 to 20 years, and I'll be fine. But people don't have that much time usually, so you got to be careful about how you want to invest in this. Maybe you don't want to go into something as a firebrand like Tesla because everything is going crazy over there. Their sales are going to be impacted by Elon Musk going after Europe and stuff like that. It can be very chaotic if you're not used to that move, right? Which is why I don't day trade Tesla, because it's just too volatile. The premiums are way too much. I don't like it. Whereas holding it, sure, I can do that. But look at Google. Google's come down quite a bit as well. It hasn't had the nice bump that Tesla had, but it still had a little bit more of a bump. But in reality, it did fall down about 25%, right? And we're pretty much just coming back up a little bit to retest that trend line, if you will, and seeing what happens next. Go over here to Intel. Intel never really was a good performer. This is back in 2000. Notice how most stocks would be all the way up here by now. Intel's just not that great. Oh, sorry, there's some jets flying over my house as well. I live by that military base. AMD, that's a chart you want to see right here. But again, it has given up some gains. We did see the breakdown that started off over here in July of 2024, and it's really been coming down ever since then. You go over here to ConocoPhillips in the oil industry. They've been doing really good since COVID. You guys know I've sold off the majority of my oil plays as of now. Only thing I'm really holding anymore is Exxon, but I don't know where Exxon is in this list. Zom, there we go. It's a little bit better, but Exxon just has some nice dividends, so I've been holding on to it. Hasn't had a breakout yet, but this has been my best performer, and they're probably the most ruthless oil company out there. But overall, you guys know we've been talking about what's been happening here with U.S. oil. This COVID spike is forever going to piss me off, but we'll have to deal with it. Oil's going back up a little bit more right now. We are in a nice downtrend. We're in a very, very nice downtrend. But I kind of want us to break down below support so we can have some cheap gas. Inflation goes down even faster. And with that cheaper inflation, I do think we'll see Jerome Powell more optimistic about cutting rates, which of course helps us all in the long run. It even pushes oil back up a little bit because people are going to be spending more money going to do more things. Remember, it's almost summer. I have a reason to drive here pretty soon. Also, it's nice and sunny outside right now. I'm going to be going to Seattle. I was told there was going to be thunderstorms in Seattle today with hail and like a 5% chance of tornadoes. It is freaking sunny outside right now. So let me actually go over here and check the weather. Seattle weather for my drive. It is not raining. Seattle area could see 2-inch hail as storm rolls in. 19 hours ago. Maybe it's going to happen later on tonight. I don't know. Google weather. Oh no, that's not gonna help me out. Thursday's supposed to be rainy. Friday's supposed to be rainy. Saturday, Sunday, maybe some sun. Then rain. See, this is some bull. But I was actually looking forward to a nice little thunderstorm. But you know what? There's always time for that down the road. All right, there we go. Anything gonna happen with XCN or XCN? I haven't heard anything happening over there, but if you know anything, let me know. Typically for most tokens at this point in time, I'm just like doing a little bit of dollar cost averaging, but I don't really feel the incentive to be going heavy. As you guys know, I've already bought quite a bit over the last few months, even before we had this dip after the December rate cut, the rate pause decision. You know, so I have some bags. I don't really feel the need to hop into them even more. When I start to see the market turn around, I'll buy more. I'll get dollar cost average, and I'll average down, excuse me, a little bit more. But you know, at this point, I'm not going to keep on throwing that much more money into crypto. I need to like pause a little bit. I already got money invested. Now it's gonna wait. Right now, it's gonna wait. And I think people forget that these coins can pop off so fast that when things really do start to go our way again, the FOMO will help us out. But I don't want to have to worry about the FOMO or chasing back into the market. I've already bought in, right? But the price of that is having to deal with all this volatility, right? I'm like, oh shit, am I making money? Am I losing money? Oh damn, I'm losing money. How much longer, right? Because I have bags right now from longer term altcoins, right? But then I also have like longs that I bought a couple weeks ago with you guys, where those are making me money right now. So it's a back and forth. You're just gonna keep on making that short term money and hoping those long term opportunities really pan out the way we want them to. Which of course I think they will. But damn, it's much more difficult this cycle than it was last cycle. It's absolutely a nightmare, in my opinion, how this cycle has turned out. I went to a Mariners game and the traffic was terrible. Could only imagine the Seahawks traffic. Bro, it's so bad because sometimes they'll have like a Seahawks game and a Taylor Swift concert, and the stadiums are like right there together. So it's not even worth driving. What you do is you basically get a hotel or something and you just stay downtown for the night and you just chill. You walk back into downtown Seattle. You don't take an Uber. They have a tram that takes you downtown, which is nice. But you just don't do shit and you just stay in Seattle, go out for a drink, enjoy yourself, and don't bother going back to the South End because traffic is going to be so bad. I just don't deal with it anymore. Yeah. Like one time when I was younger, I got tickets from a friend to go to a Taylor Swift concert in Seattle, and she was playing at the Seahawks Stadium, which was called CenturyLink back then. And I only got invited because her boyfriend couldn't go because he couldn't get off work. And I did Uber, so you know I can do whatever I want. Back in the day, at least. And so I went with them, but I was like, I really don't care so much for Taylor Swift. I was just like courteous to be like, okay, you know, you have these extra tickets. I'll get you that. And my sister really wanted a shirt from the stadium, which cost $70 by the freaking way. So what I ended up doing was going there, but because I didn't care about the first part of the concert, where had these random people out there that I guess ended up being famous, but I didn't like their music in the first place. There was a Mariners game happening at the exact same time. So I plopped up, paid like $10 for a Mariners ticket for the high rises, and I just walked around the bottom level for a while, just enjoying the game, grabbing a snack, eating a hot dog, talking with the old people about their lives that kind of chauffeur you to your seats, you know? And I was like, damn, this is nice. And I was like, oh shit, the concert's like about to start. Let me like finish this hot dog, then mosey on down. I stopped and got some peanuts and some shit because I was like, I'm not going to be eating all this expensive food at this Taylor Swift stadium. and then went over to watch the show. Pretty good. I even got like a colorful bracelet or something like that. Don't know what happened to it. Don't worry, that doesn't matter. But it was an entertaining event because I was just looking at all the people there. They were going psychotic. Hopefully you'll get that computer soon if they are charging you $1,400 for the CPU. I freaking hope so. So this place, the CPU, if I bought the GPU from Nvidia and they actually had them available, it'd be $1,000, right? I'm buying it from this computer company for $1,400, which is fine. I got to toss money at this problem to get it fixed. I got it, right? If I wanted the 5090, which is the top tier one, I mean the 5080, which is the next top tier. If I got the 5090, if you buy it on Nvidia.com, it'd be $2,000, but they're selling it for like $2,800, right? So again, you'd have to like just toss money at the problem. So basically, what I'm getting here is, so you guys can see it, built Seattle PC. There you go. Basically, I've decided I was gonna get the Orca one because it looks kind of nice here, but I thought, you know what? Let me just get this one. I like the more modern look for some reason. I just like it better. I don't think I need all the extra lights and stuff like that. They're basically the same price as far as I see, like starting off at $2,700 for this one, right? This one I just felt like was more my vibe, right? And so AMD Ryzen, the new one, NVIDIA 5080, $400 added on, back order of course. And then 96 gigabytes of RAM, 4 terabytes of storage, cooler for an extra $200 because I like that AI. I like to be able to see the stuff. And then Be Quiet fans. And then I don't really care about the cables as much. But yeah. And then I get to pick it up, you know. But again, that runs about $4,200. But you know what? I think that's fine. For me, I think that's fine. I will use this for a while. I know inflation's been crazy. I bought my last computer for like $3,000, you know, back in 2021, I believe it is, because once I realized I was streaming. Remember, when I was streaming, all I had was a work laptop back in the day. So I know I don't have much of my old videos here anymore. But if like I were to go over to my channel and view my channel, videos, oldest, here we go. Started this channel because, damn, I looked younger. What do you call? I was skinnier. See, COVID fucked me up. What do you call? There was a waterfront view back there. I had the TV in there. I had a little living room and I had some wine. My apartment was pretty much empty because I didn't do anything, right? I was a trader who learned how to trade and didn't want to spend the money because I was terrified of losing it because I grew up poor. Now I'm in a house. I don't really have a lot of stuff, to be honest, still. But I think that's good, right? You know, so, but I miss the waterfront views there. I miss those days. I was when I was trying to first learn how to do editing and things like that. I had my colored lights up here. This house doesn't even have the right plugins for colored lights. No, I used to buy stuff that I didn't need. Like those expensive Google lights back in the day when they first came out. I was like, damn, hey Google, turn the color of the lights to pink. Hey Google, set the mood. And it would make the color of the lights red. And it would start playing some like some love music, right? And anytime I brought a girl over, they would just start dying laughing because it was the best joke because humor is the way to a lady's heart. But yeah, it was wild. I don't know if I have a video, which is actually, what do you call it? I used to have some really old content here, but I deleted it. It was more of stuff of me just walking around Seattle and talking with you guys. Do I have any old stuff? I mean, this is 3 years ago. This is when I moved, so I was only in this apartment for a little bit of time when I saw you guys. Channel update, I got COVID. Yeah, I got COVID like 4 times. Damn. No, this is the old place too. Remember, I used to get down that big old TV I bought downstairs, and I used to like pull up the charts. I want to do this again, but I need a new computer because this one was still having issues all the way back 3 years ago. It just got considerably worse over the past like 6 months. But damn, I should have dried up that shit a little bit more. It's wrinkly as fuck. Doesn't matter. So I'd pull up these charts, and I think I want to go back to doing this because I like the way this looked. I really liked explaining everything like it was more of a class, and although it didn't get many views, I think people might like it a little bit more, just me being able to point to something instead of a pointer. But I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to test it out a little bit here because it means I have to move my camera, but I'm hoping I can just like put my phone on a tripod and then just take the video and then edit it in my phone and be like, hey, upload, and that could be it. Your microphone gate and threshold is very strong. Let me see. I had to re-download stuff, so I don't even think things are set up the way I usually have them. Microphone. You said turn the threshold. I trust you guys with this type of stuff because I'm not good at it. So using a gate, turn it down just a little bit. The threshold down a little bit. Maybe that's what you're talking about. Let me turn it down to 50 decibels. I don't know if that's making it sound better or worse. I don't know what to change in these things at all. Yeah, at all for gate. So if you know, let me know. Because again, yeah, I'm not used to this stuff at all. Last call is called. We're about to be a great economic collapse. I have the vision. It's coming before Easter. God bless everyone here. Keep the faith. We'll come out stronger. One could argue that recessions like clear out a lot of the fluff and froth of companies because it forces them to be more streamlined and forces them to be more focused on the most productive sections of their company. But from a human aspect, it really does fuck up things even more, right? Sounds good on your end? Okay, thanks guys. Yeah, I turned it down to 50 just in case. If it does sound kind of funky, let me know. I got a good system here. I know I paid some money for it. I got the Shure mic and the handlebar and everything like that. That doesn't mean I know exactly how to use this software properly. So if you guys have any feedback, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. I just don't know. I mean, like, there's microphone profiles behind my face. I know you guys can't see it. Like, see those profiles back there? I could check. Condenser. Well, let me save this first. Final. Yeah, sure, let's save that. I don't know if the decibels actually worked out much or if I need to be like this. Oh, no, that's not sounding better. Never mind. I'm putting it back down. I can hear the difference in my headphones right there. But there are different things here. But let me shrink this back down here. Let's move that back around. And if you guys have any more feedback on that, let me know because I just don't know. And I'm okay saying I have no idea. NACT, happy to see you, my man. Make Seattle great again. It's definitely going to be one of those times here. You know what? My mic might just be a little bit too loud because I see it kind of maxing out the red on my my thing. Let me just turn down my volume ever so slightly, and maybe that'll kind of help it out a little bit. You guys might have to turn up your volume a little bit more, but I think what's actually happening is the way it's set up is maybe it's just actually too loud, and maybe I need to like dull it down a little bit. And maybe that's what's happening here. Mixer. You got 95%. Maybe that's what's working out here. Maybe that's what's happening here. I'm an enthusiast gamer and I still haven't upgraded from my 3080. 5070 gaming market is going through one of the worst anti-consumer eras ever. Yes, it is. I myself have a 3080 and I have loved it. Before this stuff really had issues, I would still say this is a great graphics card. But I couldn't even find one of these in the market, I don't think. So it's just been kind of a hassle. But it hasn't messed up since yesterday morning, so I'm optimistic. I cannot leave the computer asleep overnight because as soon as I turn the computer back on within about 5 minutes, when I'm usually making my morning smoothie, then the monitors will go back off. So what I've decided to do is at night I just turn off the computer all the way. I turn off the switch in the back, shut down, switch, then in the morning switch on, open, start up the computer, and it's working just fine for now. So for now, I think it's okay. It's just when I say that, the worst shit happens, right? And again, I've been in like calls with like friends on Discord or a client with my consulting stuff right now, which is it's more of just me having fun in this space. But then the phone, the computer dies or the monitors die, and I'm like, they can hear me, but it's a black screen, so they can't see me. So I'm like, yep, time for a better PC. And I also want to game with you guys. I want to be able to pull up Cyberpunk or something like that and just game, have a controller, talk with you guys about whatever's going on, and just chill for a night. But I don't want to have to worry about the computer having those issues, because when I'm in a gaming mood, I want to really vibe with you guys, right? Which is something I can't really do with all the fear of the computer crashing and things like that. Wait to buy your GPU unless you're gaming every day in 4K or heavy into VR. No, I'm just buying it now because I need a new computer. And if I'm buying a new computer, I might as well just get it now. And then when I buy it with those people, I have like a 3-year warranty with all the parts in it. So I'm like, you know, if the part starts to break down, I just take it up there, which I can drive to it instead of shipping it off somewhere, you know what I mean? And they can fix it or they can replace it. And they got really good ratings. They're really trusting the community as far as I know from people I've seen that shop there. So I'm going to trust them on this one. But yeah, it's definitely going to be rough waiting for that type of thing. Even then, the 5080 is struggling against the 4080 and the 4070 Ti because of the VRAM. I can't even find a 4080 if I wanted to, but if I have the option between a 4080 and 5080, I'm just going to get the 5080. You know, if there's an issue down the road, I'll just be like, hey, this is having an issue. Can I upgrade to like a different 4080 or 5080, whatever? And they should be fine with it, I hope. But we'll see. If not, I can just buy another 5080 once it's all new and packaged. I don't mind that. It's more of like, I need a computer that can work as much as I'm going to be pushing it, which means that like I want to be able to like stream with you guys for a few hours. Like it's a fear thing. I'm afraid that when I'm streaming with you guys for too long, my computer's going to have an issue and it's just going to like go black. I don't want to have that fear every time I'm streaming. I don't want to have a fear that if I'm playing a video game, which I don't play anymore because the computer's messed up, you know, I don't want to have a fear that if I'm in the middle of a game and I haven't hit a save point or something like that, it's going to die and I have to reboot the computer and miss all that gameplay, right? I'm not a person that like likes to go through that. Like if I played a Civilization campaign and maybe the save is like every 50 turns or something like that, and I play 49 turns and my computer shuts down or has that issue, I will literally not play that Civilization campaign again. I will restart something new. That is my ADHD and anxiety in full effect right there. I'll be like, you know what? Fuck that. Let's start a new campaign. Let's be the Romans this time, or the Vikings this time, or something like that. Or Crusader Kings 3. You know, let's just not deal with that. Let's just not deal with that. That's the only reason. Typically, I was originally going to have one of you guys help me build a computer from scratch. It's just that you can't buy the parts. So I'm just like, you know what? I just don't care. I'm like, you know how you get so fed up, you're just like, you know what? I'll deal with it. I'll deal with it one way or the other. Hey, your man, dude, trust me. I know. What do you call it? It's definitely going to be chaotic, right? But the way I'm thinking about it is it'll last me for a while. If I have any issues, I can stay with it, right? But it is very, very annoying. And I specifically blame NVIDIA. I blame NVIDIA for a lot of these issues. But anyway, guys, that's why I have to leave it for tonight's stream or today's stream. I'll be trying to stream a little bit later if I can. I know today is Wednesday, so I will be going to the cigar lounge afterwards because I have to hang with a few friends. I don't think I'm actually going to smoke anything tonight, but I will say hi to people. And I'll be drinking water. I've been chugging water. Hold on a second. Since I started dieting a couple weeks ago, I am officially down 8.5 pounds. So that's good. I'm eating Caesar salads and shit when I go out. I have my breakfast smoothies. And if I spice up a salad, basically I add salmon on top of it. So I'm losing weight, which has been very good. That's been the other side of like good mental health, is like I'm actually losing weight, which is great. And the sunshine has been coming out, even though there's supposed to be a thunderstorm. So it's a sign. It's definitely a sign right now. But pay attention. There's a move coming here. If you guys want my opinion of what I think is going to come, probably a dip, then rip attempt. But I think that dip is going to be coming. So that's what I want you guys to be aware of, because the daily chart's still bullish, the weekly chart's still bearish. And we're trying to get out of that bearishness with the weekly chart. So I would assume a dip and a rip. So keep an eye on it. I mean, that if there's anything I want you to pay attention to right now, it's those two lines right there. Not the outer lines. We'll worry about that later on. It's those two lines right there, because I do think if that 4-hour chart like here starts to tip over, it's already tipping over, I think you could see a smaller move down. And again, nothing catastrophic like down here. I just said a dip for an attempt of a rip. All right. So, and Jermaine, yes, work is very, very important to me. It's the worst feeling ever having a call, even with Discord friends, and you're just like, screen went out, or working with you guys, right? Makes it annoying. And hey, Knox, happy to see you. So, everybody, have a chill rest of your day, and I'll put out some more content here. Definitely keep an eye, because again, this is what's important right now. This is what you guys are going to have to focus on. See you guys a little bit later, and hey.